Alright guys, so this is another video continuing my previous one, which is the dumbing down or the degeneration of design, modern design. So if you want this video to be, to paint you a pretty picture of how design is getting better and better, this is not the right video. This is about how design these days sucks and designers are learning the wrong tools for the wrong job. So I was looking at this article. It says these are the top 20 best UI design tools. Now they steal the term UI now, because what is happening is there are all these new breed of designers learning all these basically Microsoft Paint 2.0 type of tools. They think they are great. They are just doing basically doodles and sketches, and they might be okay, again, to sketch, but these are not real design tools. This is all bullshit. This is all gimmicky prototyping tools that have no production value. Now, just to understand what I'm saying, we have to just kind of imagine that we're going to go back in time, and I'm going to take you to a web design museum, because at the end of the day, they are telling you UX design is all about research and understanding the market and doing graphic design and animation, and you are basically like a god of design. And at the end of the day, the reality is you are just doing something pretty close to what this little girl is doing here, doing some doodles with crayons, choosing the colors of crayons that you like, filling up, just taking your paint book and just putting some lines and colors on it. And that's exactly what you get when you have the wrong sources. When you look into these magazines and these posts about all the theory of UX design, is all bullshit. They are just trying to sell you courses. They are trying to sell you all these boot camps of horse shit, and that's all it is. Now I'm going to kind of reroute you and put you back in the right track if you really want to make design great again, especially web interface design. Good, solid web design. That's all it is. UI, UX, animator, UX interaction. All that is the same bullshit. You get a job in a company, you start your own business, your client, your stakeholders, they want to see tangible things, tangible shit. They don't care about personas, and they don't care about all these doodles that UX designers these days love to do. They are they are delivering this kind of graphics like if they are in kindergarten, and this is not really what design is meant to be. Right now, if I try to course correct you, you want to look more into things like this. Let's say timpanus.net, a website where design and technology are linked together. The problem now is that we have all these different tools. Look at this. This is an excellent design, fully coded in CSS. Now, tell me one thing. Are you going to be able to do this kind of effect in InVision, all these gimmicky tools? No, you won't be able to do it, because design, web design, and the web interface, let me tell you, is built with code. It is built with HTML and CSS and JS, and that's how you can do the real cool stuff. And now you're going to scream, because probably you are, let me guess, you are one of these kind of like hipster designer. You're one of these kind of high estrogen artsy designer, low testosterone type of guy, and you don't want to get into code. You're too lazy. You just want to do some drawings, some painting, and that's fine. But now let's compare this guy with this guy. Look at this guy, right? Who's this guy? This is the product designer of BMW, right? This is Van Hooydonk. This is a real designer, an engineer, a guy who understands mechanics, and a guy who understands aerodynamics, industrial design, graphic design, aesthetics, art history. A guy who really has presence. And look how he dresses. He dresses sharp, right? It's not like the Peter Pan grown-up kid with a bunch of action hero avatars and cartoons on his office. This is not the professional designer that we want to be. This is not the professional designer that you want to be, but unfortunately this is the new breed. So let me take you back, and let me just kind of like fix you and take you back to the roots of web design. Okay, so web design started a while ago, back in the time in the 90s with Photoshop 1.0, and it's not like web design started there. I'm just saying these are some of the original designer tools that kind of were the foundation of what you have today. But if you notice the history of web design, the idea was to eventually jump from the pixels and to a graphic design for print into code, into HTML. A lot of designers experimented back in the time when the technology was very inferior. They were already experimenting, trying some designs with new tools, with a new medium, and this medium is the web browser. So I'm not going to show you the whole history, but I'm going to point out a few things here in another video. Let me just go back to the future. So as design started to evolve, CSS and HTML also evolved as the main design languages. You might remember Flash was a big thing, was an amazing tool, because Flash back in the days was a tool that included code and ActionScript, which is kind of a JavaScript type of thing. Unfortunately, it wasn't responsive for mobile, and there were a lot of security issues with it, but it was a great tool to get designers become more creative. So there is a whole background in the history of design, but the point is there was a moment in time when all these new shitty tools came out to play, all these prototyping tools, telling designers, okay guys, forget about technology, forget about code, we're going to just let you draw, let you paint little things, and you don't even have to learn code. And why are you going to learn it? That's for the nerd, for the developers. You are this, you're going to paint the big picture, you are the dreamer guy, and you know what? It is all bullshit. Once you hit the wall, once you get to work in real projects, you're going to notice that you're going to have to get a grasp of code. You're going to have to deal with developers. You're going to have to actually deliver real shit, not deliver all these little doodles and things that you're so happy doing right now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, just to give you a brief overview of what's going on in the industry, why some designers are taking the wrong route, as I think they are using the wrong tools and forgetting about the essence of web design, of like really hardcore web design, which is made with markup, CSS and JS. And don't get me wrong, you can still use these tools just to play around, but these are, I would say, the junior tools that you can adopt to kind of get your juices flowing, but then eventually you have to I really recommend you to get into the meat of the web design and the UI design with CSS. Now, there are great advances also in the world of design for the browser, such as CSS Grid. It is a great guide. I think this is by CSS Tricks. CSS Tricks is an amazing resource if you want to get into UI design. They explain you all these concepts of the new trend in grid layout and how this is going to completely change the web design landscape. There are many other tools out there and technologies that are brilliant and are not the typical top 20 tools that you see in all these clickbait type of UX blogs. I'm going to leave you with some recommendations. This book as an ebook, if you want to help to contribute to the cause, is called The Nightmares of Web Design and How to Overcome Them. It's going to tell you the typical problems in the industry and how you can attack those problems. You can also check my other website, Designer Weapons, an arsenal of tools for creative professionals. And this is not just for UX or UI or web design in general. This is multimedia, video editing, and a bunch of cool gadgets that are going to empower your design process. So this is it. Make web design great again, and hopefully you can take a step towards it. Thank you.